Welcome back to a bit gamey and history video. It's entirely speculative, just kind of like a guess really, based on royal scepters and where they came from. So the first thing is just to show the length of time they've been around. So starting from modern times and going backwards, you have Queen Elizabeth with a little scepter there on the right, or on her right. Napoleon, 300 years back, again a little scepter. It says as a symbol of authority and royal authority in particular. Charlemagne, back a few hundred years more. Another sort of orb and scepter. I don't know if the orb is a separate thing, but there's the scepter, some kind of staff, short staff, whatever you call it. Go back a bit further, and it's Egypt. That whole thing, and there's one of the common ways of doing it is as a crook, like a shepherd's crook, and or the sort of whippy thing. This one another Egyptian thing, the crook and the whippy thing. Back a bit further, and you go over the Babylonians and Hammurabi. Again, little short little authority stick. And then right back to the beginning, the Sumerians. And this is where the first time you start seeing it. And so this goes all the way back to Sumerians, and slightly in different forms. So this is a guy on a chariot with that thing there, which could be a whip, could be whatever, who knows what it is. And then you have a Sumerian god. I forget who it is, but the important thing is he's got these two little staffy things there, look like they're in the shape of snakes. And another Sumerian from one of the stellae, however you pronounce it. It actually looks like a mace. It could be a mace. And here's another of the things from the Sumerians, and you can't quite see really. There's the guy in the chariot, or donkey cart really, proto chariot. He's got something in his right hand. You can't really see what it is. And similar over there. So it could be a copper axe. I mean, I do have them. It could be a copper axe. It could be a whip. It could be all sorts. But it's they definitely have something in the right hand. And here's another example of Sumerian gods. You can see in the centre there, that guy with a kind of scepter, sort of short rod with a roundish head on the end. So there we go. So that shows it's been a thing for how long it is, 2000 sort of, I think 3,000 years or so, as a mark of authority, and particularly royal authority. You have this kind of scepter type thing being carried. So the question is, where does it come from? And the obvious place that it could come from is a mace, or a whip, or some kind of thing like that. But I have a wild and unproven theory that it might be a donkey rattle. So why do I think it might be a donkey rattle? I never quite believed in the whole Sumerian donkey chariot thing, because donkeys are well known for being very fractious and disobedient. So the idea of them being chasing around in Sumeria being chariots just didn't seem very likely to me. I kind of had the idea that maybe there'd be sort of a commander's vehicle, just just so we could hire up, because they didn't have horses. They didn't have horses back then, or not there, not in Mesopotamia. They just had these donkeys, and you can imagine a kind of donkey cart pulling the general to the back of the line, so they got a better view. But I couldn't. I didn't believe that it could actually be used as a sort of offensive chariots. But there are details, or there are records of them stating that they had kind of like a brigade or whatever of chariot guys with their skirmishers, their chariot runners, and having battles and chasing people down in amongst all the canals. So it seemed to say that they were chariots, or but then how would you imagine they could possibly work? And then I was looking through YouTube at donkey racing, or as a result of this, I was looking around YouTube for clues, and you come across donkey racing.
मकुरानी जो है ये मकरान में रहते हैं, समझो हम बंदरों में रहते हैं.
Going back to that earlier image of a Sumerian god with a couple of what looks like figurines of snakes, kind of scepter-like or club-like, and the possible connection with the rattling noises. I was originally thinking it would be rattlesnakes, but apparently they're just in North America. But there are lots of vipers in Asia, and that would have been around somewhere in Mesopotamia at some point probably. And their hissing noise, I think their hissing noise is maybe is the key. And if you compare something like that hissing noise with the noise from the rattles in that Indian donkey racing clip, then you might be onto something. They don't sound exactly the same to me, but maybe if you're a donkey's ears, and you hear that kind of hissing noise, or what you take to be a hissing noise, snake noise, then you start pegging it in whatever direction. So you're not very good, really, because you can't control it. It's just you can make you charge fast or stop. That's about it. No subtle manoeuvring going on. Going around chariot races like in Roman arena, like in Ben-Hur. But go fast or stop. Maybe that's enough. So it's not a very effective way of controlling a chariot. You shake the rattle, and the donkey runs away, and then you stop shaking it, and it'll slow down. But so you're not going to be. You can make it go fast, I imagine, but it's definitely very not very. What would you call it? You're not getting very controlled operation. You're not gonna. It's like go back, or go fast, or stop. That's about it. But if you've got a little gang of what we call it, the guys that follow around behind the cart, then maybe that could work. So anyway, that's my theory. I think these early Sumerian donkey chariots, they had rattles to make the donkeys run away, and those rattles, which looks like maces, and perhaps even could be maces as well. You get a mace head and a hollow mace head with some bits of stuff to rattle in, and you could kill two birds with one stone. But anyway, that's my guess. That's how they started. They had these donkey rattles in Sumeria to make their donkey chariots run, and that became a kind of symbol of authority. Then the kings and the nobles or whatever would be in their chariots with their little donkey rattles, and and that became a symbol. And so, you know, from then onwards, you know, through Babylonia, Egypt, you know, Levant, everywhere, you know, into Europe, this whole thing of this little scepter carried on as a mark of royal authority, and that was that all the way up to Queen Liz with a little rattle. And that royal scepter maybe it was originally a donkey rattle. That's it, really. It's complete speculation, obviously. No real evidentiary clue or strain or whatever it is. But it's a fun idea, I think. That all started from a donkey rattle. Anyway, to a bit.